is my...
Now you're in fucking trouble.
Now I'm in trouble. All right. Always a little bit of a lag, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This week on the Red Eye Report, we're talking about the grooming gangs of the UK. And no, they don't trim your beard while taking your wallet. With us, per usual, we have our riff-raff, onomatopoeia Anya, Oracle, Mustard Eyes Mystic, Take It Past the Taint Teddy, and yours truly, Asperger's before Titty Burgers Asher.
What? Well, I gotta eat the room with all. I was just, okay, it's fine, cool, whatever.
Take It Past the Taint Teddy. I know you do. Nothing wrong with that. All right, before we get into this terrible topic, of course, Asher has to pick some real depressing, egregious act against humanity to talk about. But we're going to lighten the mood with our Pause for the Cause.
We don't live in the UK. Fuck.
This is the our weekly benefit, raising all kinds of money for the Dane County Humane Society. Today's pet is Kebab, the pit viper.
Kebab.
Kebab the pit viper.
Kebab the pit viper was put into protective custody after becoming an informant against his grooming gang who used him to threaten underage girls. He's gay and into antiques, so being around teenage girls was insufferable. So that's why he turned rat and busted his owners. He's now hoping to be adopted by an elder gay man who loves estate sales.
Yep. He spends his days fucking watching Antiques Roadshow down at the Dane County Humane Society.
Hanging with this highly fucking poisonous snake.
Yep. But yeah, this thing is these kebab guys were throwing them at teenage girls, and he's like, I can't deal with this shit. I'm sick of it. All right. So speaking of grooming gangs, which was like one of these things where turns out it's been an issue and scandal in the UK for about 2 decades now, or the activity's been going on for more than 2 decades, put it that way. And I only heard about it because bitch about him what you will, because he'll spout off of anything and everything.
Say Joe Rogan?
Elon Musk.
Oh. That's even worse.
And yeah, well, the thing is, it was in January of this year. It came up as like a news story. It was like, oh, Elon Musk is pissing off the British political elite, and that's when, like, through that story was like what he pissed him off as is he was tweeting about, because he's the biggest tweeter, or whatever, King Tweet. Like, he can
tweet, yeah. When you buy it, you can be fucking King Tweet.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. If you think about it, like, he's probably got a button where he's like, you know what? I want this tweet to show up on everyone's new feed.
Everybody sees it,
regardless whether they follow me or not.
Right.
Yeah.
And
tweet God.
So, anyways, it was he was calling on these British political elites that they should resign over the grooming gang. Two, like, that he predominantly pointed out was Jess Phillips, who is a British MP, and Sir Keir Starmer, who is actually the current British Prime Minister, because I know it's hard to remember because they had like 4 in the last 3 years or something. Anyways, so I look like, what the fuck is this grooming gang story? He basically accused the, like, British establishment, or like the Labour Party specifically. He was targeting the Labour Party, that like they're culpable for, you know, the rape of, you know, thousands of little girls. Anyway, so the story goes back for like 25 plus years.
Hold on, was the Labour Party the one that was in charge, or
Labour Party, I believe, is in charge now.
Oh, they're the ones that just won. Okay.
Yeah, and
oh, that's right. The Tories were in charge for 15. Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah, the Tories, and they were the more conservative party. But so anyways, this started back about 25 plus years ago. Jess Phillips, the one I mentioned earlier, she's a Labor Party prior to being an MP, which I think just means member of Parliament.
No.
She was the Labor Party minister responsible for safeguarding violence against women and girls. But why Elon Musk sparked a big row about it was because the story was just recently in January. They've been calling we need a national review of this shit because it's out of hand. And she denied it and said it'll be more effective if you do it on your local level. And usually when you want to find the truth, you don't ask the local level people.
Right.
To fucking
They probably have something to do with it at that point. If it's been going on for fucking 20 years.
Yeah. So and of course it made news because Elon Musk he said she was a rape genocide apologist. And that the whole Labor Party was complicit in the mass rape of little girls. So basically, and the thing is, in researching this, I just kept finding it's very similar stories from these victims, but then I'd be like, oh wait, that's a different city. They right now estimate 50 or more cities and towns in England, and if you in the outline you can see I got a map there that shows how widespread it is. With the the predominant factor of these grooming gangs is that it's predominantly are white girls between the ages of 12 and 16, and usually they're working class. A lot of them are from group homes. Girls who are whose parents aren't taking the best care of them to begin with, and some of them in these care homes where it's a service run by the state. It sounds like an
so classic fucking vulnerable
halfway house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so let's see here. They basically, the thing is, that's been the predominant victim. The predominant predator, though, is mostly British Pakistani men.
Really?
And British has a lot of immigrants from all over, right? The fucking British Empire touched all over the place. The thing is, it basically broke with this story in 2011 in the North English city of Rotherham. Population is about 105,000, so it's not huge, right? That's smaller than Madison. But from 1997 to 2013, they estimate 1,400 to 1,500 girls were exploited, most between 11 and 16 years old. And essentially, once they started to see these patterns of abuse and that these girls were reporting it, one of the police inspector there in the city actually said to stop this type of crime, this is his quote, "You need to start talking about it." But everyone's too scared to address the ethnicity factor. So basically how it would work, because there's so many cities that this kind of same thing happens is these girls starts out, they're teenage rebels, probably not already hanging out with the best crowd anyways, but usually through a friend, someone their own age, will introduce them or take them to, usually it'd be a flat, an apartment with these older men, these older Pakistani men. Most of these men were somewhere around their 20s or 30s. And it'd be like a party house, right? Yeah, come on over. They would give them free alcohol and cigarettes and drugs. And they would keep these girls coming over to party. for weeks at a time, to where that's how the girls interpret, like, oh, it's a party house, right? Like, these older men are just giving me free drugs and, and booze. Like, there's not going to be anything expected of me, right? And then, yeah, weeks later, then it's like they're taken into a room. And usually one of the adults, like, who's ever been feeding the girls booze and drugs and cigarettes, then it's like, oh, well, I've been so generous to you. Like, I give you food and drink and drugs, like, you owe me. And then takes him in the back room and rapes him. Then, though, the thing is, from a lot of these stories, it would be like where they were like, once it happened, it's just kind of like, boom, they realize they're being, like, guilted into being raped. They then would take these girls to their like brothers or cousins, and let them rape them. And sometimes they were put into a car and taken to other cities to be passed around to other men. And some of them as young as 11 or 12 years old. The thing is why
nobody's looking for these girls while they're missing.
Now, Grant, these stats were back in 2011 when the story kind of finally broke. In Rotterdam, they had, at that point, there were 56 men guilty for, assaulting a child or kidnapping, like, guilty of these grooming gangs. Out of 56, average age 28, 3 of them were white, 53 of them were Asian. Now, Asian is the term, and South Asian is the term that the government keeps using because they don't want to say Pakistani. And of the 53 Asian, as it was listed, 50 of them were Muslim. And most of those 50 Muslims were British Pakistanis. And that's the thing, is like, it's just like this high percentage is to where the Labor Party, like, does not want, like, all these people who are like lower level Labor Party members don't want to be seen as racist by, like, looking at these stats and actually publicly addressing them.
So how is it the Labor Party's fucking problem, though, if it's the Tories that were in charge?
No, I mean, sure, this was going on also. Well, Tories were in charge, but it's the thing is, the Labor Party, like, the thing is, nobody has been reprimanded or lost their jobs. There have been a lot of people have resigned after some of these reports because it was obvious that, like, they were turning a blind eye to like, all these reports. There were also there's like one woman who actually lost her job because they just decided they were just going to cut funding for, it was like a nonprofit program she ran that reached out to like teenage girls who were victims of sexual abuse or prostitution. And she was seeing this pattern. The thing is, these girls, once they befriend these girls, like in Rotterdam, that first city, there was a Pakistani man who ran a mini taxi cab business. And so he would have his drivers show up at their care home, like, and just tell them to get in. And the care home people, like, some of them knew, or they just were like, well, that's her older boyfriend. And a lot of these girls would get wrapped up into these situations because they initially thought they had a boyfriend. Like, they would, that was another.
Are they hooked
tactic.
on anything hard?
Well, they would also
like
give them. They would give them heroin and stuff too.
Okay.
That was, like, as far as offering them drugs and stuff. There was.
Right. I didn't know what kind of drug. I didn't know if it was like,
I'm sure
they
it
were
was
scared for their life, or they were literally physically addicted, like heroin or fucking.
Well, I know there was a case where one of these girls was being exploited, actually overdosed on heroin that one of her abusers gave her. But like these stories all have a lot of similarity, and I'm sure it varied as far as like what drugs they were given, because if you see that map, like this was happening all over. These so these, like in this one city anyways with these reports, is that these girls would get followed by his taxi drivers and be like, they'd be like, you got to get in. And they were under threat because by this time they also collected all the girls' phone numbers, addresses. They would send their drivers to follow these girls' mothers if they were worried that they were going to tell the cops on them. And then they would start telling them, oh yeah, your mother went here, your mother went there, like showing that like, we're watching you. We're watching your mom. We know where you live. And so basically under threat, they would just feel trapped. There's and these, like, the men themselves don't consider themselves pedophiles.
Of course they don't.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Of course they
From their perspective, they target these young girls because of their malleability. It's like, well, duh, like any older guy who goes after teenage girls, it's because you can fucking.
So you're just you're not a pedophile, you're a fucking predator.
Yeah,
you're
right.
You're just a predator. Yeah.
See,
also,
I mean, but since they're underage, you're still a pedophile. You're both. You fucking.
Yeah, exactly. And they also feel that white girls have less morals and are like less valuable than Pakistani girls.
Of course they think that.
Yeah, although like
who's racist now?
There were plenty of reports that also do point out that there were South Asian and Pakistani girls who were also exploited as well, but the kind of predominant like feeling was that I'm sure the Pakistani girls that they abused, they themselves thought were from broken families or unworthy or whatever.
Right.
Whereas like they see the white girls as they would call them white trash and slags, which I guess is British slang for like like a gutter slut. You're just a slag.
I've heard that before.
And that is a problem. The police officers themselves would refer. The thing is, these girls would go to the police and they like were not being taken seriously. There was one of the stories that actually kind of made it real apparent was one where, and I can't remember her name, could not find back the video, but she was one of the early prominent victims because I think she got so fed up, she went back to the guy's kebab shop or restaurant, like, and just started smashing the place up. Like, went full on crazy. And of course, the cops have to show up and they kind of try to be like, oh, she's crazy. Like this woman just came in and this girl came in and started smashing her shit up. And then of course, when she's arrested, she's in like explaining, yeah, no, this is everything I've been through. Like, this is why I just lost it. And so another city was Rockdale, UK. And by 2024, there were 111 cases and 96 men that were not arrested, but they had listed as potential risk. There was a victim whose name is not known, but they call her Ruby. Her and her friends were invited by older men to a flat for food and drinks. And this pattern where like they kept getting invited by these men to come hang out at this flat for weeks and building up that comfortable friendship. And then one day they came to the flat and they're like, well, you can't come in the other room. I'm assuming the other room is like where they would always hang out, right? While they were being groomed. And they were told like the people are using it right now. Like, you have to wait, and so they gave the girls like a bottle of vodka and 10 cigarettes,
Wow.
and left them, with the vodka and cigarettes till they said, "Okay, we're ready." They brought the girls into the other room, and Ruby says there was 30 to 40 men waiting to rape them all night. And it started like she got assaulted by one, and then like another one would jump in, and it happened that way through the entire night.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was thing of 30 to 40 men, just boom, like your real gang rape, like is your initiation to this life that you're trapped in.
What is up with these Indians and Pakistanis and their gang raping shit? Like, I don't get that.
I don't know. I know I saw some
Like, they're
people
doing
some people in the comments talking about like the history of the Pakistani army, like gang raping, like Bangladeshis and stuff like that. Like, other people though will like just attribute it to that, like it's that, like Muslim ideology, where like you're not respecting women at all. But of course, these are also the people.
Religion is so good for the world.
Well, the sad part though about this is that it's the people who've been pushing this are a lot of the right leaning people in British politics, and so that is also partly why they didn't want to like keep skirting the ethnicity issue, is because they see, oh, this will give the alt-right fodder. Like they're going to come out, like there'll be race riots and stuff. So like they've suppressed some of these.
Maybe there needs to be.
Right, there's a fucking like obvious crime.
But yeah, like
what the fuck?
If it's 40 Pakistanis,
Jesus Christ!
And I mean, I don't get what the fuck. Come on, guys.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean? Like,
so yeah, like Ruby was her story. She said she was raped over 100 times in the 4 years she was caught up in them, and she had at age 13 she had an abortion. And then the police said that they were going to take the fetus to do, like DNA evidence, and then. Or actually, they didn't tell her. They just took the fetus, didn't tell her about it for DNA evidence. It doesn't show whether they actually did the DNA evidence. And she only found out about it later when they're like, "Would you like an urn for your cremated fetus?"
What
She's
the
like, what?
fuck?
Friend, like you're taking this in at 13 years old.
Dude, yeah, what the
fuck,
old. Man? Like this is.
Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna drink, but this is depressing. I'm getting
right.
Yeah. God
Yeah.
damn it, that drink.
So yeah, there's so like they would have these houses, these properties that were like, no one used the term, but I was like, you might as well just call these rape houses, where investigators actually found a list on the back door with names, and these are basically the people who are allowed to use the rape house.
Well, there you go. You got the list of all the bad guys.
Shit.
They would bring their girls, or they would come and see if there are any girls there already, because they would get passed around. And then these men would put a check mark by. It was like a pedophile honor system. Like you put a check mark by your name every time you came and used the house, and then at either the end of the week or the end of the month, you paid up for how many times you went there.
You've got your fucking list of everybody that you need right there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were pseudonyms. They're
so stupid that I watched that documentary about fucking about how they took down the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas on Netflix, and they basically did the same type of shit. They wrote everything down. Mm-hmm. What are you fucking criminal mastermind fucking retards? What are you fucking doing?
Well, that's always been a problem for criminals, is you still have to have your fucking spreadsheets. You just gotta keep track of it somehow. But yeah, this is actually like basically a flop house where you can come and pass around whatever girl you're exploiting at the time.
Yeah, you're just renting it. It's like renting it by the hour for fucking, then you just pay up at the end of the week. That is fucking.
So in Telford, United Kingdom, there was since the 80s, there's been more than 1,000 girls. The thing is, in that city specifically, the abusers would use the threat of Lucy Lowe, who at age 16 was burned to death with in her home with her mom and her sister and her unborn child.
Wow.
By her boyfriend, her Pakistani boyfriend, Azhar Ali Mahmood, who was 26 at the time. And it sounds like it was kind of like the family themselves were like, well, this is who our daughter's dating. Like he would be there at the house sometimes. He basically snuck in the middle of the night and took his baby. He already had a baby with this girl. He's been abusing her since she was 13. He took his baby out and then poured gasoline down the steps, and because everybody's sleeping upstairs, and lit the house on fire and ran off with his baby. And the father was able to escape out of a side window, but the mother, her sister, her unborn child, and herself all died.
So there was a father that was allowing his 13-year-old daughter to be going out. Are you fucking
exactly?
kidding
That's
me?
what I'm saying. Like, this is also like, these are girls.
They should be going to prison. I'm sorry. That is fucking child abuse.
Troubled families, or like
troubled families, fucking scumbags.
Turning a blind eye to like a man who is 26 dating your 13-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Or he would have been, I guess, 23.
Stabbed that fuck in the throat a long time before that. Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. So anyways, like there have been also more than one victim who's had, like, when the thing is, whenever they resist, that's when they say like they can be really nice and very generous, but then they'll just like flip on a switch, like, and you can't say no. And there's been a couple girls where they were doused in petrol and threatened to, like, with a lighter, like, do you want to be like Lucy Lowe? Like, they use that death as kind of like, this is this is what'll happen to you.
This is what happens when there's no good guys with guns.
Yeah. That story is so like fucked up, that Lucy Lowe one, because that was I think in like the early like 2000 or 2001. There's actually a interview now with her daughter, the one that her boyfriend went in and took out. She's like 21 now.
Wow.
And like just kind of talking about how like this happened. She couldn't remember it, at that age, but like she had to grow up. She was raised by her grandfather. And which made me think, like, okay, if the father,
he's obviously a scumbag.
Right.
I guess he would be the grandfather, but he's still a fucking piece of shit. Who the fuck allows his kid to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, according to this interview, it sounds like he probably was in complete atonement from then. Like, she says nothing but good things about her grandfather. But yeah, like, imagine that too. Like, you're the only one who's able to escape. You lose your wife and your kids and your unborn grandchild. But anyways, so
great.
Yeah, these kebab houses, that was and like sometimes it would be an apartment where they would invite them over, or this other city, actually I think it was Telford, where there were 3 kebab houses, and they all knew like, what's that?
Are they trapping these girls after they get them and stuff?
Oh yeah, basically like they're exploiting them and tracking them and basically threatening them. That's the thing, is they used to call this in Britain child prostitution, but they've actually changed it to CSE, child sexual exploitation, because it's like prostitution should be like if she's getting some money out of this, like the children can't prostitute, right.
No, but the pimps can.
But exactly, and that's the thing, is like, so it's now called child sexual exploitation.
Don't call a bottle of vodka, 30 cigarettes and 10 cigarettes fucking payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what they're calling it. The shit needs to stop.
Right.
Well, the thing is, these victims, when they're talking about, like, the police would ask me, "Oh, well, if you were so abused, like, where are the bruises?" And
What kind of a question is that?
I know.
Fuck you, you piece of shit.
So, anyways, these kebab houses would actually like that's where the kebab. It sounds like they served alcohol as well. So, like the teenage girls start hanging out at the kebab houses, and the guys are getting free food, free drinks.
Well, yeah, that's
for
how they
weeks.
get them in, dude. The first
Yep.
taste is free. You know what
The
I
thing
mean?
is,
Like,
then it turned out like she said, like she knew only the guys from the one kebab house really, and then like she realized she could see the guys from the other kebab house, like the other kebab house restaurants, like because it's like the Pakistani community, they all came over to gang rape her.
Wow.
She's never gonna have a kebab again. But yeah,
I wonder if this shit is happening in the bigger areas, like London or fucking Birmingham, because like the shit you're explaining are smaller areas that probably don't have as much police force. They're probably more, you know, open to fucking more rural. They're more
a lot
fucking...
of them too are a lot of these are also cities that are suffering like post-industrialization, you know, where
right.
They were bigger back in the day.
That's what pimps would do. I remember watching that fucking American Pimp thing. Like they would drive to fucking Kansas City. You know what I mean? Pick up 3 white girls that fucking wanted to go back to LA and fucking make it big in the business, and then they pimp them out. You know what I mean? Like they're just naive fucking dumbass fucking Midwestern white girls. I'm assuming that's what these are. It's just the fucking rural
it sounds like
areas
they are. Yeah,
England.
they're the poor white trash of Britain.
Right.
And also, there was another thing too, is that there was a lot of bias where it's like, so the cops don't want to be seen. They're worried about being seen as racist by like addressing that there seems to be a disproportionate amount of Pakistani men.
Right.
Seems to be
accused of this,
right.
Or only Pakistani men. Yeah.
70 to 80% in some of these cases. And the thing is, like,
so there were white dudes that were doing this too, and
oh
black
yeah, the
dudes,
thing is, like, it wasn't like,
okay.
it wasn't like this. You know, you're not Pakistani, you can't come into our rape gang.
Right? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
you know, it's just like whatever. Any like sleazeball, you know, like
you can't be in the rape gang.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, probably not too many white guys running kebab houses.
Pakistani,
right?
You know.
Yeah. No shit.
The thing is, like, I'm sure, like, there were, you know, numerous sleazeball associate white guys who partook in this as well. And the thing is, though, like, the police did not want to. A lot of it too is like they'll blame. Well, it's hard to say with the data because they weren't actually like, and that was part too with their like making their reports. They weren't explicitly always pointing out the ethnicity of the accused in a report. But then at the same time, though, these same police will look at this girl, this poor white girl, who's 14 or 15, you know, saying that these guys at the kebab house, you know, raped her, and they themselves are like, "You're fucking around with guys who run a kebab house, you slag." Like, because they were sleeping with Pakistani men, like they are just kind of like they already slut shamed them in their own bias, you know.
Yeah. She deserved it because of what she was wearing, type of shit.
Yeah, there was those kind of comments, like where these girls were just like, we're not being listened to. And then even like these nonprofits, like that one I was talking about earlier, that woman, she had a whole database where it's just like she's seeing the patterns, like writing on license plate numbers and names, like, because of course, like through chatting with the girl she's working with, like she can get the names and hear these stories. And she's like sent spreadsheets to the police and they just didn't look at it. But even though they told her like, send this information here, and just like they didn't do anything with it.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, there's cases that are still pending currently, and of course, a lot of people are saying like it's still going on to a degree, and it's like, yeah, like how easily too at a like small scale level, like these guys can just provide a flop party house,
Right.
and then basically entrap them with threats and guilt. Fucked up.
Take them out into international waters.
Yeah,
because of
right.
the implications.
But it's kind of like this, where in reading all these things, I'm like, I understand why like the white nationals get all like, fuck all immigrants.
Yeah, I don't agree, but
The thing is
I
also
get it.
like a lot of those
I can see
a
their
lot of those
perspective.
idiot white nationals are also in the same economic class. Like
Right.
a lot of these guys it could be that like, oh yeah, my niece was assaulted by one of these fuckers.
Right.
Like there were plenty of reports of that where people are just like, oh yeah, like I know someone in my family or my friend's family.
See, the thing is, man, is it really being racist though when it's a proportion? 80% is one race alone doing. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
like,
and that was in that
dude.
like one measurement, and that's the thing is like all these, like with the Labor Party being so afraid because they rely on that voting block. They're all like constantly saying like, well, still, most percentage of sexual assaults are done by white males across Britain. That's just talking. But that's also saying that's saying just general sexual assaults. Like we're talking about
gang rapes.
rapes.
Yeah, this is an organized thing.
Violent gang rapes of 13-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking disturbing. That really is.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, man, are you done? Because I'm gonna shoot myself now.
I know.
Yeah, I don't
like,
want to talk about this anymore.
A heavy one. All right, we're gonna move on to our what's sexy section and think about titties to lighten the mood. First up, we got Oracle Fast Racing Neo.
Fast Racing Neo. Was looking for a racing game to play, and this is actually on the Wii U, so I'm playing it through the emulator, Steamu.
Was the Wii U the weird like big tablet Wii?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
big, it was before the Switch.
Right,
it was basically like you had your controller was the Switch, and then there was also the fucking system. But yeah, this is pretty badass. It's very fast paced. It's kind of got this cool thing where you switch between the orange and the blue like energy to go over the boosts. So you got to like keep track. Like if I'm gonna hit the orange boost, you got to have your orange energy up. Hit the blue up.
Oh, you got to switch between your.
So that adds a whole other level. And then
this reminds me of what the hell was that PlayStation game? Or F-Zero kind of.
Yeah, F-Zero definitely. It's got some like really awesome racetracks, and you got some verticality as well. Like you could get launched up in the air and go to different levels and stuff. And if you go up too high, the wind will actually catch you. So you have to, direct yourself. It's pretty difficult, or it can be pretty difficult. But yeah, it was badass. I'd never heard of this game before, and it's pretty cool. So, Fast Racing Neo. Break out your Wii U.
So if you want to play it now, you have to get the Wii U out.
I think you could actually get it on the Switch as well.
Yeah, they have it on the Switch. Yeah, it's on the Switch. It is an awesome fucking game.
I like the fisheye view, how it like closes in the faster you go, like Need for Speed.
Right.
Kinda.
Yeah, it does just a great job of like the visuals and everything. Does an awesome job with that. And there's like some cool like set piece stuff of like big machines and things coming out of the track. They just make it interesting.
Nice.
Like obstacles and shit that come out of the side.
And then you could get blown up or shit like that.
Right. Are there any missiles or anything like that, or no?
No missiles. You can like take other guys out just by like spinning them out or whatever, which it doesn't like totally take them out, but it'll slow them down. But it gets pretty fucking fast paced. Like now doing.
What are the little orb dots you pick up?
That's the actual boost that you get.
Okay. So you got to build that up before you hit the boost ring, sort of thing.
So you've got a button for the boost, and then they've got the boost strips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Looks pretty slick. Moving along, Mystic with Borderline.
So this is a movie somebody told me about. I never heard of it coming out. It comes out in March, pretty quick though. It's got Samara Weaving. If you've ever seen Ready or Not, which is like a horror comedy movie, she was great in that. I mean, I don't know about her in this, but the movie looks fucking funny as shit. And like they're hiding, you know what I mean? They obviously the trailer's built to hide the true premise of the movie, but it just looks, I don't know, it looks cool.
Does it
This guy's
allude? So
creepy as
hiding
fuck,
the premise was it alludes to some sort of intruder in her house kind of thing.
Yeah, so like this dude is like a super fan, kind of
Oh,
like
okay.
a stalker, kind of fucking.
So she's a famous
guy.
person.
But yeah, it's weird because like other people start showing up, like other people I think that he has like stalked.
The writer of
before or some
Cocaine
shit.
Bear.
The writer of Cocaine Bear. It
That's
said.
what I just said.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. I thought that was Elizabeth Banks that wrote Cocaine Bear. She directed it.
She
I didn't-
directed it for sure. Yeah, I don't know if she wrote it though.
Yeah, anyway, it looks good if you like horror comedies.
So
This
far
guy-
it seems sexy.
Eh.
When's it come out? But you haven't seen it
I
yet,
don't
right?
know. You'd have to go. No, it's like March, middle of March, I think, something like that. In theaters. I don't think it's going to be a huge release. It'll probably only be in select theaters.
That looks good from what I can see. Well shot. Nice. All right. Moving along to Teddy. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, Monster Hunter Wilds. This game comes out February 28th. The premise
Still
of the
doing
game.
Monster Hunters?
Oh, we are, yeah. This one is more open world, kind
You
of.
still have cats?
You do have cats, yes.
Nice.
In
um,
Monster Hunter, you had
this-
cats?
They
Yeah, you
stick
have
to the
these little-
Yeah,
comics.
they made all your
cat-
food and shit.
Yeah, your side cat. He's like your
yeah,
sidekick.
little cat companions. In this one, they actually help you fight.
Oh no.
They'll set out traps and shit for you.
Oh.
It's more open world. You get a mount.
More open world shit. Wasn't the last? God, I haven't played since was it years
well,
ago
this
when we
one
played together.
they're saying is going to be places going to be more intermingled, so you don't have to worry about a loading screen. You'll be able to go from
Oh,
one
I
area.
see.
Yeah, the same fucking big ass monsters. You know,
There's the
come get
cats.
some, bro. And the cats. February 28th.
How many Monster
Oh.
Hunters have there been since? Remember we played an Xbox? It was like feels like it was 10 years ago. I don't know.
Right?
but
Oh, that was
Probably not
Monster.
that long. But
That was Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, when you
Uh,
convinced us all to get Monster Hunter, and we're like, man, this is too fucking hard.
well, there was just so many layers to it. It's like fuck, man.
Right?
It's
It's
not
like, man,
hard.
You got to invest a lot of
yeah,
time.
you gotta invest a lot of time in that fucking game. I'm like, I just wanted to the gun to work or the blade
One of
to
the hack and
work.
slash some fucking
Right.
monsters.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's a cool
Yeah.
world, but man, I was like sick of loading little orbs into my different tools and shit. And it's like
I don't know, Ashtray. Playing video games with you is rough.
it
is
is,
fucking
They're
rough,
all-
man. It is.
right?
We used to fight amongst ourselves who's gonna be on your
Of
team.
course,
I'm like,
playing it
I'm
with
good.
Teddy is rough too because he'll be like a fucking hour and a half ahead of you. He's like, "Oh shit, what happened?
Yeah.
I'll come back and get you." I'm like, "I'm dying back here, man."
Sorry, buddy. But yeah, for people who
Still is
actually
a
like-
sexy looking game.
yeah, it's a yeah, it
When you
looks
actually
awesome.
get to
looks
fight the
good.
fucking monsters.
Yeah, they have different. They've added new mechanics, blocking.
Is it turn based?
Barry.
It's not turn based.
No, it's not. No, it's not turn based. No,
Uh.
It's real time. Holy shit, he's coming at me. Yeah, check it out.
Cool. All right, moving on to Ashtray. Keep it sweet and simple. I was like, fuck it, I'll just talk about my love for the new Modelo Gelato Limon and Sal. It is my new favorite gas station beer.
I love
Got a
that
little
you
bit
have
of lime,
categories of
Yeah,
favorite
gas
beers.
station beer.
Gas station beer. You got like
Right.
fucking tavern beer,
Yep. Yeah.
fucking corporate
God.
bar beer.
one of those. If you're on the go in Wisconsin, get yourself a
If you want
Modelo
a
Gelato
want a
Limoncello.
couple road beers, get you a
Yep.
6-pack of Modelo.
All right, moving on. Oracle.
That does sound good though. Salt and lime.
Yeah, it's not like too heavily sweet like a lot of those fucking seltzery malt flavored ones are. Anyways, moving on to our fuck. What you think? Oracle glue.
Yep. Got fucking
Glue.
RSV. So it's like somebody took Elmer's glue and just 2 bottles of it and squirted it up my fucking nostrils.
Oh shit.
Oh, is that a respiratory illness?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Oof.
So
Have you tried the Breathe Right strips?
I haven't
When
tried
you're
the Breathe Right strips.
Like,
Did you get it from your potato?
Yeah, I got it for the potato. The wife and I have had it this week, so he had it. Now we've got it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you got
Telling
that.
you, daycare is a fucking
Yeah.
just a cesspool, dude.
Yeah.
This shit is fucking
I know.
But
You should
you're-
just like
like
treat your baby
primordial.
like the first months of COVID and just wipe it down with alcohol
Yeah,
and bleach
yeah.
before you take it out.
Before you even take them out, you're wiping them down with Clorox wipes and shit.
Yeah.
Got to go through the decontamination fucking chamber. Got like
Mhm.
it's like a sci-fi fucking thing. All right,
Right.
step ahead. Brr, brr,
Yeah.
brr.
Right? Like that baby gate does not open until the
Right?
process is finished.
Yeah.
Oh man. But no, I swear, like especially if you get that congestion where it is like it feels deadlocked, where like I can barely breathe. It's like insufferable when you're trying to sleep because your normal
Yeah.
breathing rhythm is fucked.
And then
The
you gotta
Breathe
sleep
Right
with your mouth
strips?
open.
It seems so subtle, but like it's just it pulls it back enough that you can feel a difference. Like you actually can breathe some.
All right. Well, I'm probably
Word.
fucked for tonight, but maybe I'll
Use a
try to
little
throw-
alcohol on your nose to make sure you get all that grease off that holds on tight.
Just get real drunk, dude. Pass out. You know?
Yeah, I'm
That's even
sure that'll
worse when
help
you
me
can't
feel
breathe.
fucking better.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just
All
totally
right.
dehydrate myself more.
Right. Yeah. yeah.
Exactly. On that wise
Yeah.
medical advice from the Red Eye Report, we're moving along to Mystic and hope you filed your taxes.
I hope you guys filed your taxes
Not
already.
yet. I
He's
know,
he's
right?
about ready to dismantle the IRS. I just got mine back like 2 days ago, so I'm good for this year.
I got to get going on
And
that.
we won't have a country next year, so it doesn't matter.
Holy shit.
It's insane just watching the fucking systematic dismantling of our government under the guise of efficiency.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the thing. We'll see. Creates a bunch of chaos. I know there, at least anecdotally, I see people posting about their, Trump parents or whatever, who are like not too fond of the Elon Musk.
Here's the thing, like, I understand the point. Government is bloated, dude. That shit's got to be fucking made more efficient.
Yeah.
But you can't
Well,
just shut the shit down.
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
to fucking go through it and then shut down the parts that are, I mean, you're shutting down vital shit that people need. And it's insane.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I guess we're just going to have to deal with that part of it. But yeah, because it only affects poor people, you fucking cunts.
They had what was it, like the employees from the like nuclear commission where they're like they let them go and then they're like, oh wait, we need some
Yeah,
of you
they were-
back, and they're like, we can't seem to find them now. It's like, that
Yeah.
also made me think, what do you mean you can't find them? It's like, like I'm sure some of them were like,
weren't
fuck
they
you.
the ones that were working on the fucking vaccine for the bird flu vaccine or some shit?
Oh no, I thought it
That was a
uh,
different one.
No, I thought it was
Oh,
like
wow.
people
Okay,
like
yeah,
the,
that's more
whatever
than-
the agency that like for oversight
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like all the nuclear power plants and shit.
Oh wow.
And of course, it's one of those. It's like I didn't read the full article to see if that. A lot of times, it's like you realize too how these headlines can be hyperbole, or a little over dramatic. But
Oh yeah.
the thing is, though, like therein lies the paradox of the American government and the system. Is like the whole point of bureaucracy is for those checks and balances and to run shit slow to try to get it right. So that inevitably creates bloat in the government.
Right.
Kind of no way around it. But yes, like there are still ways things could be definitely more efficient.
Yeah, 50 million for condoms
The thing
for
is, like, you're always
Al-Qaeda.
running into like efficiencies, then run into like you're actually like removing these layers of checks and balances that fuck shit up.
Right. Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, Elon Musk will just he'll just excuse himself if there's a you know, a conflict of interest. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
right?
okay, yeah, we're just
Sure.
gonna take this dude's word for it, huh?
Yeah, right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, I'm done.
All right. Moving on to Teddy. Oh Betty.
I've got something.
nothing yet.
I've got something. You're
What
fucking.
you got?
What the fuck would you think was your fucking topic? I am
yeah,
depressed. I am fucking depressed now, and it's your fucking fault.
It is a shit.
And it's all your fault.
So
It
you're
is
fucking.
my
way to
fault,
go.
and it's a terrible topic. Actually, we can still blame this on Elon Musk because if he didn't tweet about it, it wouldn't have piped up this news story where I'm like, well, what the fuck is this all about?
Fucker.
Yep.
Yeah.
How dare he?
God damn you, Elon Musk.
God damn you.
Like, even when I loathe you, you still, like, sometimes speak some truth. Anyways, moving along to myself. The Harry Potter-esque theme night, which I think was just called, like, Wizards and Witchcraft, for Forward Madison Soccer Group has been canceled.
All those motherfuckers.
You see in this, like, Instagram, Twitter, whatever post, club statement. In the last 24 hours, we've heard feedback from our fans and realized we've made a mistake with one of our promotions. Our goal as a club has always been to promote an inclusive environment.
Oh, God.
And without intent, we've fallen short of that value. As a result, we'll be canceling the theme night for April 26th, and we'll be announcing a new promo shortly. As always, we appreciate our fans' feedback and continued support for our club. So, I didn't know what this was, except for, like, it became like a big blow-up post on the Madison subreddit. The Forward Soccer Club, which is just one block down from my house. And whatever, I don't give a shit about soccer. But it's nice because that's what Bree Stevens Field is. It's nice to see that it's being used. And I've got some friends who've, like, gone at the games, and from what they describe, they're like, actually, it's pretty fucking fun. Like, they do really good, like,
What's the controversy?
proud shit. So they were gonna have a theme night that was, I
They were
guess,
gonna stone trans people. Is that what this
yeah,
was?
exactly. They were gonna stone trans people. And that was hidden in the subliminal message that this event called, like, Wizards and Witchcraft. And in the design for the poster or something, no one had a picture of it, but people were saying, oh, it had the 4 scarves of what's Harry Potter's school?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Hogwarts,
Yeah.
right?
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts. Yes, it had, like, the 4 scarves of Hogwarts and probably the colors too, whatever. But that triggered enough people
About what?
about J.K. Rowling
Oh, God. Okay. So it
and
wasn't about
how
stoning.
she's a transphobe. And that it, like,
I'm done.
yep, as
Madison's
someone,
the problem.
oh, the thing is, there are, like, hundreds of posts of people being like, I'm all about trans rights and, like, I'm a diehard liberal, but Jesus fucking Christ, like, this is,
Right?
and there's also plenty of posts too, be like, this is like, Dems need to realize this is how Trump won. It's dumb shit like this.
Absolutely. Yes, that's exactly how he
Dumb
won.
shit like this. And because people are like, whatever, I don't really care too much about Harry Potter, but it's like, it's not even called the Harry Potter theme event. It's like, but it had the scarves. They're like, I mean, you'd have to be dense to not realize it's, like, referencing Harry Potter. And it's like, J.K. Rowling's not getting any money from this.
Right.
Yeah, and so they fucking
I just don't get,
Yeah.
dude. That is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard.
Mhm. Well, you get so that's the thing is too like you get the left can get so they're all about like being open and inclusive and embracing everything, but then like they're like so sanctimonious now and like
Right.
um where like getting off on being offended.
That's what it
Um
is. They
because
have to have something to bitch about, something to be
Mhm.
offended by.
because the world is always going to be offensive. And if you study history, you can see we're slowly, piece and step by step, like we're getting better. But we gonna cancel fucking the not even officially called Harry Potter Wizards and Witchcraft theme night because it had
Right.
definite like it had Harry Potter imagery. Um, which made me wonder too. Like, have they remember they have Harry Potter Fest somewhere here in Wisconsin? It's like this small town. I think it's somewhere near the Madison area.
I have no idea.
But like I don't know, it kind of one of those just like fuck, like way more people showed up when they initially started it and became a big thing. But now I was like, do they even do that anymore? Probably not.
Well,
I
it's
don't know
still popular. The HBO's making a fucking series.
about a Harry Potter.
Yeah. I don't understand attacking the art. The artist might be. I mean,
Well,
fucking
some people can't
who's the
separate the
dude
art.
who's the dude that fucking wrote Call of Cthulhu and shit?
H.P.
That
Lovecraft.
racist
Yeah.
ass motherfucker from fucking Rhode
Yeah.
Island. Like, that doesn't affect the fucking art. Like
Right.
he wrote fucking good books and good stories, man. Like it's just crazy.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too is like people, who like can't separate the art from the artist.
Right.
I mean, they're often like people who got that black and white view where it's like, man, the world's motherfucking gray. The faster you learn that, you know, you could have some fun if you just lower your standards. So,
That's the
on that
greatest quote I've ever heard.
note, on that note, go fuck yourself, Nelly Furtado. That's our show. We're gonna be here every Thursday night,
Why?
10 p.m. Central. Usually, most Thursday nights. I don't know. Nelly Furtado hasn't called me back. Make sure to join the conversation at theredditerreport.com or facebook.com/reddit Don't bother Xing us. Like us, share us, or fuck us because we're down for whatever. I'm the Ashtray.
I'm Oracle.
I missed it.
And I'm Teddy.
Bringing up the rear, Teddy, and that's the Reddit Report. Chugga chugga choo.